Welcome along to the URC. We're here for round 10 in Brazil, the Interlagos circuit, promising us an absolute treat on this Thursday evening. I'm here currently alone, but hopefully later to be joined by the Shamrock, who has still got internet issues, just like in weeks gone by. Apparently, his Irish Wi-Fi is worse than dial-up. But we've got Yari already showing us how not to take turn 4 here at Brazil. I Baked You a Sham is going to be Sean Johnsy Boy joining on a different account. And then we've got Froby reserving for the second time as Yari. Beautiful. 10 out of 10, my buddy. Out there, was the first out on track. Clearly is not the best out on track as it stands. P14 on that table, and I would doubt he'd go any higher if that is the quality of driving we see from him tonight. ST returning to the field as a reserve for Brazil. He's had good pace around here in the past, but we've seen this week Rian C11 stepped it up back in VRS 26.3 in Jeddah, and if this track suits him anything like Jeddah did, we'll have to be worried about that V-carb driver. First man on the lap though, ST, brake just after the 50 meter board, get that car rotated into one, you want to try to stay centre of the track, bring it over for turn 2 and then hug the inside through turn 3, let yourself wash out just on the exit to set yourself up beautifully for turn 4 as we end sector 1, 17.3 from the Mercedes driver, gets it beautifully hooked through 4, didn't seem to have an ounce of wheel spin there, and now we go and look as he flicks that car in to the long sweeping turn 7 down through turn 8 he goes. Looks very held together so far for ST in that Mercedes. Up the hill though to turn 9. Flick the car over the corner before you straighten up and run it down the hill through the exit and into Juncal, the final braking zone. No real marker to be spoken of, but it's been a good effort already from the Mercedes man as he is going to make his way towards the line. What time are we going to see go down from ST? Is it going to be the first into the 7s? It's not. An 8.3 opening lap for him. Yari will come to the line and he will best that by a 10th. It's that Joker there behind. No, that's Rando coming home with a 9.2. Here comes Rian. 7.6. Follows the order and Joker can't do anything about it. Neither can Quiet Boy, so plenty of efforts going a little bit awry here. Phase Monkey just pulling into the pits as we have Hyper doing his traditional 2-lap stint on a set of tyres. Here comes the Spanish Armada himself, Mr. Orobeng, to the line. Second man into the 107s here as we've got HB Cook. Not a great middle sector split for him, and that only puts him P6, but he builds into sessions better than Bob the Builder can build a house. To the line for Fran Bernoulli. What's he going to do? It's a 7.4. That is efforts from Fran Bernoulli. Brings himself right into the session. Welcome in, Shamrock. Nice internet, my guy.
Yeah, just cooked internet, honestly. But managed to find its way back online. So thank you for taking control of the stream, Leo. I appreciate it. But yeah, solid lap there from front. 107.4, and Rian at the front. Where's Hyper? Down in 10th with a 114. He is washed.
No, he takes I don't know what it is about Hyper, but he seems to be doing a lot of these double warm-ups, or he just makes a mistake on his first lap and has to go again. He will come to the line, though, for a representative lap time to go on the board. Can he beat Fran Bernoulli? No. Fran, coming out of kind of nowhere at this stage of the season to put himself on top of the field. And what an effort it's had to be from him. Froby, substituting as Hyper's teammate, I believe, will be next across the line. P13 right now for the McLaren driver. Looked pretty decent last time out, but what does he have in that McLaren? It's an 8.5, and that puts him P11. Last man to setting a lap on this first stint is going to be Bluefoot in that Red Bull.
Did Daniel not show up?
Did who? Daniel wasn't accepted attendance.
He was.
No, he's declined.
Oh, he changed it last minute.
Shamrock infuriated here. Bluefoot's going to wind himself through this middle sector and try and put himself somewhere close to his teammate in Orabank, who's put down a very respectable effort early on in this session. A 7-9, nothing to scoff at, but Fran Manuli topping the order by quite a mile for now. It's a 52-2, barely for Bluefoot, who's going to run his way through this final sector. Look at that Mercedes in front of him.
Your mic's volume just went down a lot there.
Oh, beautiful. To the line for Blue, it is a 8-3. OBS says my mic's volume is fine, but we will take a look and see if Windows is being Windows while I do this. No, it seems fine on Windows. I think it's just you, Shambanuli.
Possibly.
FaZe Monkey now starting his second effort of the session, I believe. It's difficult for FaZe Monkey. He looks so competitive at times and then he just falls away on different tracks. Hopefully for him, this is a track he can get hooked up, and that looked beautifully on the limit through the pretty much flat out double right-hander. But now he's going to cascade up and down the hill towards the final sector of this track. Beautiful on board with the Aston Martin. What has he got in this middle sector? He's about a 10th up on where Bluefoot was. This could be very competitive for him, at least in terms of position as it stands. Potentially looking to get himself in that top 5, and look at this. Bit of a slipstream off the back of Bluefoot, you'd believe. To the line, 8-0 for FaZe Monkey. Puts himself P5 almost immediately out there. It's a good effort from the Aston Martin driver, who doesn't seem to have that full confidence in him at the moment.
Yeah, it's a good lap there from FaZe Monkey. He's had a difficult season, and he's planning to retire end of the season, unfortunately. So hopefully that won't happen. But yeah, bit of confidence restored for him, hopefully, after that lap. And if he can get a good result tonight, I think that'll make him maybe have a different change of mind.
We could certainly hope. Yari to the line. That's a 3/10 improvement from the Racing Bull driver into the 7s. But apparently, from what I've heard from him, his peak is about a 7-7. So P4 as it stands is the best he is expecting to achieve. Fran Manuli, though, second lap of the session, he was 2 thousandths up in that first sector. That steering wheel that he owns will be doing him a hell of a lot of favours in that middle sector, being able to flick, but he's a little bit down at the end of that middle sector, and that's a beautiful backward spin, getting his car on that bit of grass on exit. It's easy to do. You want to maximise everything you can out of it.
Hyper's improving though in the first sector.
Yeah, Orabeng's improving. End of the middle sector, he's a 10th and a half up. And he again is one of the people who's going to get a little bit of a tow towards the end of his lap. Plenty of people out of sync, getting tows from one another. Orabeng goes P4 as Richie comes to the line, can only get himself to P14. Quiet Boy, 8-1 on the board for him as it stands. But where is Hyper right now? He's 1.7 tenths up. This could be a challenge from the McLaren driver heading towards pole position. On the TV pod we go as he drives that car straight to the line. What's he got? It's a 0.3. Just about from Hyper, stealing provisional pole position from Fran Manuli. And Fran gonna have to start worrying, because Hyper, you know what he's like. If he finds any sort of commitment in a session, if he finds any little bit of pace, he can lay it down on the track and pull out an extraordinary effort. ST's flying time in that middle sector. He's on an 8 flat expected right now. But plenty of time in this session. 8 minutes to go, and it might see that we've had the end of 2 runs. But how many drivers have brought that 4th set of soft tyres just to qualify well? ST, P5 on a 7.892.
Oh, Hyper's really half spin. Oh.
It's so easy to do. Rian C11, a 10th and a half up in Sector 1 as well. That Racing Bull has been racy all season. But qualifying-wise, it's not his strongest suit. He always finds that ultimate pace in the race. Can he do it in this session, though?
3
As it stands right now, he can. He showed us in VRS 2 days ago that he had this sort of pace, Shamrock. What is he going to be able to do on this effort? How much of an upset is it going to be? It's a 7-2 to bring himself to the top of the board.
Yeah, that's exactly what Rian needs, but we can see that Hyper being no surprise going to the top there earlier on. These two have been sharing that top step in qualifying for a lot of this season. But yeah, very good lap so far from Fran. Orabang being impressive once again, and ST for Mercedes is putting on very good showing. But yeah, Richie there saying in the driver chat he is washed as fuck, and he's down in P14 ahead of Rando, who's not surprisingly 15th.
Yeah, and it's not been driven very well this lap from him either. He's found a couple of tenths, but I think he lost a little bit on entry of that final corner, Shamrock, and he has just decided that's pit lane for him. Beautiful speed carried into the pits. The FIA not even remotely considering finding him now. Fran Bernoulli, third set of tyres on the car for the Malteser, and he needs an improvement now. He's seen Rian go into the 7.2s. Fran Bernoulli doesn't find any time in Sector 1 yet. Still, the biggest time gains in the lap found in Sector 2 and the exit of Young Cow, the final braking zone of the lap. And it's desperate, but that looked wide, that looked slidey for Fran Bernoulli, who needs to hook this up in the mid-corners, getting that wheel as rotated as he can. And Bluefoot, he has just crossed the line to go 7th. Fran Bernoulli will be pretty happy with that. Another guy on his side, and that's a mistake on exit. And that'll be backing out for him. Does he have the tyres to go again on that car? You would hope so. Broby couldn't improve on his lap. Yari's 2.5 tenths up.
Wow. Yari could be in the top 3 here, potentially maybe the top 4.
I mean, Yari's putting something down. 7.5.
Very good lap.
Go on, Yari. Richie says on his first lap, he turned left into turn 1 and his car didn't turn. And someone's come into the chat and said that Bluefoot has hit the ball in the pit lane. Apparently.
Oh, no.
Earlier on in the session, I did see it, but I wasn't covering it just until now. Here comes Hyper. He's 100th down in that first sector. But again, it's not all about that.
Completely off the track, Leo.
Yeah, as soon as I'm saying that, I think Hyper is just cursed. I go on board with him. He's going to make a mistake. Let's see how bad the rest of this lap is. He's invalidated.
Yeah. Oh,
He's got grass on the tyres. That's it for Hyper. But, you know, Hyper has been probably one of Yari's biggest supporters here. And the question is, will Hyper now be feeling the threat of the Racing Bull behind him? A 7.3 for Hyper, a 7.5 for Yari. It's only about a tenth between them in the end. And Richie's also saying Yari is him. I think Yari's going to be the favourite because, unfortunately, Andy the A-Team couldn't make it tonight.
But Leo, hasn't Yari done this before around Brazil and then fell off in the race?
We don't need to talk about it, Fran. We don't need to talk about it, Shab. We don't talk about it, okay?
Sorry. It's a touchy subject.
He's capable, okay? He's learned traction control now. He won't spin in turn 1. He won't.
I hope not.
So do I, for his sake, because his mental is all over the place. Orabang was starting a lap and finished his Sector 1 17 thousandths down, but immediately backs out, got the grass on the entry, and that is his lap closed off. But this is where we'll see the start of these final runs between these guys. Joker, as always, first one out on track, and his Steam name just becomes more and more fitting every week, Shamrock. More of a joke than Yari. And he's 7 tenths off Yari right now. The guy who was touted to beat Yari year in, year out, any time he raced alongside him. Down there in P12 and 8.2, I think, though, he has been sweating Le Mans Ultimate. Which, better game, not gonna lie.
He's got Orabang ahead of him here for the final runs as Yari's disconnected. I'll try and get him back in here, but...
Come on, Yari, get your ass back into session. You still have time in that lap.
I've invited him there. Oh, Joker's going to be the last on the first final lap. So
I'm going to be on board with him the entire lap through turn 1, looking neat and tidy for ORL Joker, OSRT, or whatever the hell he's called at this point. Overtake mode enabled, battery draining down to just under 50% as he gets on the anchors into turn 4, and that's again missing the apex. He's up and he's got great first sector time. He's losing it all here in that middle sector. Flick it through the right-hander down 2 gears, surprisingly, and now down the gears to 3rd in the braking zone as we cascade through the lefts and rights of this middle sector, up and down the hill as he comes through this tricky hairpin. Gets it hooked up quite nicely, and surely this is a big improvement for Joker. He needs a big improvement. He comes across. It's only a 10th and a half. Through the final corner, it's not even great from him. He hesitated, he put the throttle down, had to brake a bit more, and then had to get it down again. Joker might not see the top 10 if plenty of people improve here. He's going to come to the line. That final sector puts him into the 7-9s, but look how close he is to being out of that top 10. You've got Quiet Boy, HB Cook, FaZe Monkey, and Johnsy Boy, all people capable of an improvement. By the way, ST matched his first sector. ST has matched his first sector. He's down in that middle sector. What time does he have to gain back in this final part of the lap? Needs something special, or needs to be able to go again around this Brazilian Grand Prix circuit in the heart of Sao Paulo. He comes to the line. It's not an improvement for ST. Quiet Boy's invalid, but he has time to go again. Froby, what can he do? Down in P13 on an 8.5. He is 2.5 tenths up. It's still not enough for a positional improvement for him. Hyper on an outlap right now as well, about to reach the line. What's Rian doing, Shamrock?
Yeah, he's doing it pretty well so far here, coming to the second sector. I can't see if he's improving much, but he's looking pretty good so far. He mightn't improve, but he's only up 0.006 of a second, so he's improving marginally. But he's coming on.
A snap on the final corner as well. Risks on the line for him. Yari just about makes it to the line. He will start his final effort. The flag drops. Rian to pole still.
Massively.
It's 0.5 tenth improvement. It's still great. Hyper has even bigger of a gap to close, as does Fran Bernoulli. I didn't see his first sector time, but Hyper was up. The other Aston Martin, FaZe Monkey, 2/10 improvement up to P6. HB Cook couldn't find the improvement, neither could ST in the Mercedes. What has Quiet Boy got? He's not found an improvement. Bluefoot has invalidated. This could be Hyper. Baby. Is it the final run where it all comes together for the McLaren driver? It needs to be. It has to be. It's desperation to get pole in Brazil, and it is. By a quarter of a tenth. Fran Bernoulli is going to have a huge toe to the line. Look at this. The two Red Bulls in tandem, and Fran Bernoulli more than secures his P3 as Yari will not be posting an improvement. He was 0.2 down at the end of that middle sector. It's an 8-1 from him. Not a great lap, and Rando finishes off the session in the barriers. Beautiful crash into the wall. Rando. And Joker says, my pace is nowhere to be seen. Fucking hell. And I agree. Down there in P9, 8 tenths off of pole. Biggest shock of the session, though, Fran Bernoulli and Orabeng up there in the top 5, especially Fran, who's been a shadow of himself this season. Up there and ready, looking like he could fight for the win here in Brazil. Your top 10, Hyper and Rian, pole and second. Then it's Fran Bernoulli and Yari locking out that second row. Orabeng and FaZe Monkey on the third row of the grid, followed by ST, Bluefoot, Joker, and Quiet Boy. The rest of the results, HB Cook, Johnsy Boy, Froby, Richie, and Rando. We'll join you back for the main event just momentarily. And we are back live, just waiting for everyone to get their setups on. Hyper will be starting on pole alongside Rian C11, the championship rivals. Looking very competitive in that qualifying session, but Fran Manuli, after having a good season last time out, finally back on a good show of form. Yari, Brazil seems to be his circuit, so can he do anything from P4? Hard tyres looking like his choice for now, but plenty of opportunity for people to change their strategies. Bit of a mix up and down the grid of who thinks going to be better in this first stint, whether it's the medium and the hard. And it's even a question, Shamrock, of is it going to be a one-stop? Very difficult around here, but you can make it work.
Yeah, I suppose it all depends on how you manage those tires, and I think we're going to see hopefully a bit of a racy lap one where the top four will hopefully battle each other. I mean, hopefully one car doesn't just pull away and let that be that. But yeah, I don't know how anyone's going to do a one-stop around this track. I think you'll be mad to even try that. But I think most drivers today will be doing a two-stop. And if anyone does try the one-stop, best of luck to them, genuinely.
I mean, the numbers say it's theoretically possible to soft-hard this track. But that's all theory. Are you pushing lap after lap and managing to pull out good enough pace to win while keeping those tyres in check? We'll just have to wait and see. The most likely person to do it would be Rian C11 on that P2 spot. The mastery of tyres that man has is unfounded, and quite frankly, I don't know how he manages to keep those tyres in good check. But we are getting underway here in Brazil. It's 5 lights. Can Hyper get a good start? It's lights out and away we go. It looked slow from Hyper off the line, and Rian immediately into the lead and challenging already is Fran Bernoulli on the inside of Hyper 295 F1. Switches to the outside for turn 2, and Fran Bernoulli into P2 immediately. Hyper down to third, and there's still going to be pressure on behind. Orabeng left, right and centre on the back of Hyper. Can't do anything about it. Yari maintains fifth as cars are going everywhere. Off the start of this race, FaZe Monkey fighting with Orabeng down to P7 for FaZe Monkey, but can he fight it back up the inside? He will.
Here.
There goes Orabeng inside line. It's a little bit of wheel banging. Can Orabeng do anything to help his comrades up ahead of him? I think him and Orabeng, Hyper and Orabeng, have a terrible relationship from past events.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Yeah, Baku. Big losses for Orabeng. Yari's maintained P5 on that hard compounder tyre. Bluefoot. Poor exit from the final corner. So here comes FaZe Monkey. Hard tyres reigning supreme for a few of these drivers, and FaZe Monkey looking to try and take this position from the Red Bull car. The Aston Martin is going to be on the inside for turn 1. Thinks about backing out, but he's going to get it to the inside, get it stopped beautifully, and then a better run on the exit. FaZe Monkey will take that P6 position with the DRS that's now enabled, and ST not looking half bad behind.
Yeah, and Yari was getting closer to Orabeng there, who is starting to fall away from the leader, so Yari needs to get past him now, or else...
ST Shamrock,
what's happened?
Look to the outside of Orabeng in the fast right. He's going to dive to the inside of the right-hander that follows. Can he try and fight this out against Bluefoot?
Defending there.
Be able to. And now this brings Quiet Boy on the hard tyre into the mix. Not the raciest driver is the Williams, but he certainly has some pace to show. Gap out front, 1.1 seconds between Rian and Fran at this point. So is Fran already beginning to fall away? That medium tyre for him might be a bit more of a torture test than it is for Rian C11. As we head on to the third lap of the race, Orabeng will start to feel the pressure. Fran Bernoulli will start to feel the pressure, but DRS occupies everyone from P4 down to P15 as it stands.
Yeah, it's very close at the moment on track, and you can just see Hyper reeling in here, the Aston Martin of Fran, but he is struggling in turn 1. His car is getting a bit slippy on the exit of the corners, so hard tyres not in the best window right now, but they will warm up eventually. But he's keeping within touch of the Aston. And speaking of the Aston, Fran has managed to get back inside the DRS of Rian. So that's crucial because it will keep him ahead of the McLaren in the long term.
Is that going to be Rian trying to play games, protect himself from charging hyper, but they'll come through later in this stint? Remember, those medium tyres not as strong as the hards, but speaking of how racy it is, Rando up 3 places off the start to P12.
Yeah, he's had a solid start, Rando has, and he's made good use of the mediums, and if he sticks out this race, he's on for points again, and he's finishing the points quite frequently this season. He struggled a bit in Monza, but he scored points in Baku, which if you survived that race, you were scoring points anyway. But yeah, he's doing well. Good start for the Ferrari driver for sure.
Yeah, out in front, that DRS compressing the top 3 incredibly hard, down to less than a second, covering that top 3. Rian needs to be careful now, and so does Fran, really. One little mistake could see Hyper in a brilliant position for the race. As someone's round, is that Bluefoot? He's gone wide and maybe backwards in the long right-hander down to P14. The Red Bull driver was looking on for some very good points. And down in P14,
it's a shame for Blue.
Languishing now down behind the likes of Rando and Richie, who are doing quite well already just to stay in this train. But I think big threat now, Yari on the back of Orobang, who's going to have to start being a bit more wary in that Red Bull car. DRS and Slipstream incredibly powerful here. Into turn 1, look at how close Yari has managed to bring that car.
Yeah,
and there's still an entire other zone coming on. But the battery, very delayed for Yari, and I think that's just going to cost him on this occasion. Just a bit too far back into turn 4. P4, 5 and 6 staying the same as the grid struggles away to try and bring everything together. HB Cook, though, trying to get past Richie, what has happened to Richie? Seems like he went straight on in turn 4, down to the back of the pack, and losing that crucial DRS right now.
I think Richie is just struggling, unfortunately. He wasn't feeling good in qualifying in terms of his pace, so I think that's kind of taken over in the race as well. I think he might retire in the pits, Leo. He's not really enjoying it, I think, at this moment in time.
Yeah, I think it's just been a hard bit of time for Richie, and he's just showing that day in, day out at this stage. I think Rian C11 has had to slow up a little bit to keep Fran Bernoulli in the protection detail. But Hyper, look at the battery Hyper has had to use to keep this gap closed. He's
track limits
so low
by Hyper there, surely.
Yeah, Richie speeds into the pits, and the first retirement of the race coming almost immediately. Here goes Yari. Does he have the want to go past Orobang here? He doesn't. He's just sticking behind right now. Orobang, the cork in this bottle, not allowing the grid to make any sort of progress. As we head on to the middle of lap 6, Richie W18, first retirement as Bluefoot. It's happened again.
Oh no.
Another mistake into that turn 7 and down in P14. This is not Bluefoot's race, Shamrock. It really hasn't been.
No. In fairness, I think Blue had just woken up prior to the race, so he's not. I don't think he's functioning at full ability at the moment. But I think, look, with those 2 moments in this early stage of the race, he's probably killed his tires. So his mediums are definitely feeling the effects now of
Hyper
these 2 running
on the outside of turn 1, but he's gone so deep and just has to give it up for now. But Hyper looking racy in this early stage. The pace is coming to fruition in the McLaren car. But turn 4 is not going to be the stopping point for him. We're not going to have a Lance Stroll moment like we did in real life 2025. Staying out of the gravel for this top 3, and very consistent looking, the driving between all of these guys. But I think Yari needs to get a move on now. No, he's been very nice to Orobang and not going past. He just needs to recharge this battery over the next lap or so. and get himself
Yeah.
gone past the Red Bull driver, because he is clearly quicker at this stage of the race. And to be fair, it seems like this hard train is just quicker in general than the medium runners. You've seen Bluefoot struggles. We know that Rian is so good when he has to manage a set of tyres, so unsurprisingly, Rian staying out in front, quite strong in his driving, and surely Fran Manuli happy to sit behind for now. Is Yari going to stay happy to sit behind? No, up the inside of turn 1. Side pod to front right contact, but Yari's going to make the move. Is it going to stick though? Because Orabeng is going to have that DRS now on the back of the Racing Bulls driver. Is this move going to cost Yari 2 places? It might not. No, it's not happened again. Yari maintaining that P5 position right now, which, yes, he started there, but you expect just that little bit more from the Racing Bulls driver. Pull himself through this gap, but at least he's still in a straight line. You can't say that for Bluefoot or Froby, it seems.
Viper. Thinking of trying to dive bomb there, but you can see he's got so much more pace than the Aston Martin at this stage in the race, but he's just not able to get by, and Fran and Rian are actually working together here to be kept in this DRS, and it's just killing Hyper in terms of his tyres. It's just going to kill them a little bit, and I think that's what they're trying to do, is wear down Hyper's tyres to just make him trying to fight and go for moves that he shouldn't be going for. So whatever Rian and Fran are doing is working.
Yeah, we've seen Hyper on that hard compound tyre, alternate strategy pretty much any time he has raced this season. Those 8-lap-old tyres are going to be just that much better than Rian and Fran Bernoulli's tyres at this stage. But this almost Carlos Sainz-esque tactic between the Racing Bull and the Aston Martin as Froby pulls in, he is going to retire from this race on lap 9. I think his mistakes catching up to him today as well, and just has to live now to fight another day. On to the next round for him it'll be. Was Hyper really just... I don't know if he's just not got the grip in that middle sector, if the dirty air is hurting him that badly. He can't get himself close enough to Fran Bernoulli to just maybe go for an opportunist move. Try and just make this move in an unorthodox place where Fran might not receive the help. But I can tell you, it's a decent run for Hyper in that final corner. Does he have the opportunity on this lap on board with the McLaren driver? He's going to wait maybe till the second straight. I don't know if it's smart for him, but he needs now that push through this order up beyond Fran Bernoulli and Rian C11. But yellow flags at the end of this straight mean the overtake won't be possible for yet another lap. That is a weird parking spot for Froby's car. As we go
dangerous.
back green.
Jesus.
I think the game doesn't know where to park a retiring car at that point. You'd think you'd go where Bottas did all those years ago and just park on the left-hand side, out the way of everyone, but no. Centre of the track, apparently. Good job, EA. We love you, fellas.
Thing is now, Fran hasn't got a lot of DRS or ERS to use in terms of keeping Hyper behind, but he's able to regain the battery, and Hyper is able to regain the battery as well. So they'll have the similar amounts of battery, but it's just a matter of how much more can Fran keep Hyper behind, because Hyper is getting so much opportunity down the main straight, but he can't get it done because Rian is keeping Fran with him at all times.
Yeah, it's frustrating for Hyper. It was a bad start. He was on pole and he just dropped behind that top
Fran
two. Fran lock up though.
Big opportunity there.
Can Hyper do anything now? He's going to try and fight it around the outside. Not much battery in that McLaren car. Fran Bernoulli with just that little bit more to defend with. And Hyper takes a shape to the inside. The move isn't going to be done
pushing him
yet.
through the corner.
This fight isn't over though, but I think Hyper just has to yield for now. Maybe into this next right-hander, into the next braking zone. Fran Bernoulli just covering it off that little bit, making Hyper a bit more nervous to do it, but look at him on board with him. He's pushing every little part of the track to the inside.
Go to the inside. Oh,
there's contact, and Fran may lose the position here to Hyper, but Hyper's going to lose that DRS in return. That car is sideways. Fran Bernoulli now knows that he doesn't have that same chance anymore to stay with Rian. Rian taking the launch now. But Hyper, yes,
Hyper's
there's
got no battery
DRS for Fran, no battery. Here comes Orabeng, it's 3 wide into turn 1. There's contact on the outside. Hyper is sideways. Fran sideways. Yari up to P3.
Oh my god, through goes Yari. What a fucking moment. FaZe Monkey might just get the McLaren. It's going to be 2 Astons in front of the Mercedes car. Oh my days, man.
Hyper. I mean, we call it the Hyper Bottles driver of the day in VRS for a reason. Fran Bernoulli witnessing it. I wonder, though, will Hyper be having a few words after that?
Oh, he will. Absolutely.
Fran Bernoulli.
Leo, Fran, I have the receipts. I have the receipts. Fran said he would help Rian here. And oh my god, he has helped Rian with that late move at turn 1. Oh my god, I don't know what the stewards are going to say about this one, but C. Faulkner, if you're watching, you have a busy evening ahead of you yet again after this race. Oh my words.
I'm shocked to see Hyper sideways. I'm not shocked it was contact with Fran that caused it. We saw it 1 round later last season in Monaco. Those two
Yari might get Orabeng here for maybe P2.
I mean, Yari is a man on a mission, as is Orabeng. These guys aren't exactly losing time to Rian at this stage in proceedings as well. It might be smart just to try and work this together, get themselves into that battle for the lead. Is Yari on for a win today? Is that the state that we are seeing as he goes a little bit wide? That might be a 3-second. By the way, in all of that, Sean Johnsy Boy got a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, coming in for his first stop of the evening, and I'm going to assume it'll be a 2-stop strategy for the Mercedes driver, lingering down there in P11 just ahead of Orabeng and HB Cook, the only 2 other drivers currently in the race that have made a pit stop. If Orabeng gets a little bit of a wriggle on in this final sector, we might see DRS established immediately from 1st down to 7th. Hyper not happy though, as it stands.
Yeah, and Quiet Boy is reeling him in as well at the moment, who has the more ERS to the McLaren, so maybe Quiet Boy might be able to get into this battle and cause a little bit more upset.
Here we go, is it going to be DRS? That's the question on Orabeng's mind. It's not. Is Yari going to pose a threat? He just can't turn the battery on early enough, Yari. He's going to try and do anything he can through turn 3, but he's just leaving that battery lingering a little too long. He looks at the inside. The move isn't going to come on Orabeng, and it's time for a little bit more conservation once again. But this top 7 now, all in with a good chance, and Quiet Boy, as always, living up to his name, just having a nice quiet race, benefiting from chaos. Up there in P7 right now. How much more does he have? Remember, hard compound tyres with him. If you look at the state of that top 7, Rian C11 and Fran Bernoulli, the only 2 on that medium tyre in that top 7 train. The rest all on 13 lap old hards, but I'm starting to believe that Hyper's may be a little bit worse off than anyone else is sliding on that exit. He needs a go, and he needs to go now to try.
Yeah, he has to get a move on
and push forward. FaZe Monkey, the cork in the bottle. Yari again looking in turn 1, but not diving, trying to force Orabeng actually into a bit of mistake.
Joker's going to be the first to come off those hards after
Joker's 2-stopping
13 laps.
If he's off hards, he's coming in for a 2-stop strategy. At this point, you'd have to assume it, because there is no way you're trying to take a set of mediums from there to the end. It just isn't possible looking at the numbers. 22 laps, 23 maybe, that he'd have to do. But look at the gap up front, Shamrock. Orabeng in DRS of Rian, but this is around Rian's pit window as well. So he's getting ready to perform a huge undercut on this train. But what Rian needs is Fran to go first and then become a rear gunner later in this race, while they keep their hards.
I wonder, are they communicating that maybe between each other?
All he needs is that 1 lap undercut. The tyres will be that much better, even ice cold, straight out of the blanket, 70 degrees isn't exactly ice cold. You'd have a nice cup of tea. It might be a bit too hot for you even at that point. But they still, in terms of rubber, that is freezing. That's a lock-up for Orabang in the first corner. Yari, get your battery on 3 seconds earlier, please. You could have this move done laps ago. But he just doesn't have that confidence to switch the battery on early enough. Rando into the pit lane for his first stop of the race. He's lingering back there. Speeds into the pits as well. What is Hyper doing right now? He is looking desperate. He's looking left, right and centre on these guys. If FaZe is speaking to Fran Bernoulli right now as well, Fran will be telling him you need to defend just a little bit into a few of these corners. Because Hyper is willing to go for it. Look at this, Hyper's going for it! That is respect from FaZe Monkey to keep that gap just barely open for Hyper. But Hyper's desperate. That's a real lock-up for Hyper. And desperation. Well. Fran, was that a bad exit from him? Or is he looking to become the defender? He does. Fran Bernoulli into the box. Does Quiet Boy have a response of Hyper? Fran Bernoulli.
Fran got 10 seconds. And Quiet Boy ahead of Hyper.
Yeah, but he's deep in turn 1. Hyper does have an opportunity to come back, but it's less battery for Hyper. DRS still for Quiet Boy. That's what's important. Rian C11, Fran Bernoulli and ST all into the pit lane. At the end of lap 16, as Yari and Orabang still, they are top 2 now in this race. Hyper.
We're going to come out behind Sean John here.
I feel like this will be a pretty easy move for Rian once his tyres are ready to go. I don't think Sean John is going to give Rian any sort of hassle. Those two pretty good mates. And Sean John, he's aggressive, but only on people that he doesn't have respect for, it seems. But let's take a look at our top 2. He's
going to drag him along.
Yari spams L2 and Mr. Orabang, your top 2 currently in this Brazilian Grand Prix, and Yari surely feeling a bit of desperation at this stage to get past Orabang. Would this be his first time leading Shamrock in the URC? I'd maybe think so.
Yari led in Kota,
of
Leo,
course.
But he got it 3 seconds in that race. But this would be Yari's best chance at a win, considering how much Hyper's screwing up.
Yeah, he's already tapped the back of Orabang there. He looks like
he's just got to get that ERS on at the correct timing, and he'll get the move done. But he's been a bit hesitant this race to do so.
I think he's just nervous. You know, the last time he came to Brazil, it happened immediately. At the time, it was the classic Yari bottle. But this time, he's held himself pretty high. And honestly, full respect to him for that. Fran Bernoulli getting past Owl's HB Cook, by the way, up into P8. Rian C11 has been let through by Sean Johnsy Boy. And Hyper is going to be watching this gap to Rian fall and fall. And if this race continues to be so bad for Hyper, he might not stand a chance here. Orabang into the pits already. I mean, is anyone still on their medium from the start? No. So,
and Hyper can't get past Quiet Boy, by the way, so that's massive.
I'm questioning if Orabang can go to the end on these tyres. I really would be. No, maybe the expectation of fastest lap.
He is lighting up this track.
Yeah, it's good effort from Rian. Where's Orabang going to come out? Medium tyres, obviously, much better tyres. He's going to come out just ahead of Fran Bernoulli. Maybe not, actually. Fran Bernoulli done just enough of a job there to come out ahead of Orabang. But the tyre difference is going to be stronger and stronger as this race goes on. Fran, Rian, and who else was with them? Was that Joker or HB Cook? One of them anyway. Oh, it was ST
HB
actually.
Cook, definitely, yeah.
But they've only got a couple laps on that hard tyre, and we saw at the start it doesn't really have much of a difference. It's later in the stint we see that happening. Gary, though, out in front, having a nice little chill of a race now. Pulling away, actually, from FaZe Monkey, who almost looked to me like he was pulling into the pits. Hyper will pull into the pits. Unsurprisingly, he has not enjoyed that hard compounder tyre, and he's going to be wishing for better fortunes on that softer, grippier rubber. Quiet Boy and Yari and FaZe Monkey, your top 3 right now, in a jumbled up order that I've just said it.
Yeah.
All looking.
Now look what Hyper's coming out behind here. Hyper's coming out in P11. Leo is where he comes, and behind Bluefoot on old tires. I can expect a defense from every single one of these drivers.
I mean, it might be worse than P11. It's gonna be P12.
3 wide. Someone's gone wide. Orabang's been shoved wide there. Oh my god.
Is Orabang just trying to fight it out with the 2 ahead of him? He knows that he's got a wild Yari Spams L2 he was fighting with, and is trying to undercut right now. He's there in P7, lingering behind Fran Bernoulli and Sean Johns, as Rian is closing that gap up to the front, guys. Yari still has some great pace on that hard tyre, Shamrock. He's pulling away another 3/10 on this lap to FaZe Monkey.
Yeah,
I think he was really held up here behind Orabang, and he needs to figure out in that second stint how he can get past people. Otherwise, this is looking like tears. Your pit loss time, everyone, 20 seconds. So right now, if Yari were to pit, he would come out just ahead of Bluefoot, but that's only line to line, so maybe just behind and in that fight with Hyper 295 F1, who has had a poor race by his standards. Sean Johns
on the back of Bluefoot now, though, so I don't think Bluefoot's going to be able to defend this, but Hyper goes to the inside and just not able to get the move done on that occasion. Bluefoot staying nicely ahead for the time being. Needs to try and hold him up for as much time as he can for his friend Rian, but with the tyre difference of 1 lap old mediums to 14 lap old hards, this should be a breezy move for Hyper.
I mean, but it's looking like the first stint over again for Hyper. He's not finding those opportunities as easily as you would want to expect. Yari's gap up front, by the way, extended by a second on this lap.
4 seconds. Oh my god.
I mean, Yari unwashing himself already. FaZe Monkey, by the way, you are still washed. I will tell you this after this race. I'll tell you after every race until you win one legitimate race. Hyper, this time the move should be good. It should be completed, and into turn 1, Hyper will take P10, but with a bit of a lock-up. I don't think Bluefoot, though, will have anything to say back at that. And Hyper close enough now to join HB Cook, Sean Johns and Joker, who are just up the road of them. ST actually is going to clear Bluefoot. Fresher tyres, though, on that Mercedes car. Unsurprising, and Bluefoot needing to start considering that pit stop as Rando. Is that the first 3 seconds of the race? No, it's ST got one just beforehand. We've got 4 10-second speeding penalties out there on the track, Shamrock. That just goes to show the efforts people are going to enter this pit lane. Yari continues on. FaZe Monkey surely starting to think about that pit stop. He will come into the pits. Quiet Boy stays out. And Rian C11 will become a podium city yet again. Not Yari needs. He needs a safety car. That would really knock this race up for him. Potentially bring himself out ahead of Orabang. Maybe even ahead of Fran Bernoulli.
Hyper on the inside of HB Cook. Not able to get it done, though. That was a bit of a late move from Hyper, but he's going to try and switch around to the outside. Can the Williams driver defend it? I don't think so, given the tyre age, but
I'm down momentarily. Good job.
Oh no.
There we go, we are back. We are back live. Bluefoot 3-second penalty right as we come back to live proceedings. Yari into the pits and surely going to take it nice and easy. Yari locked up the rears on pit entry. That's going to cost him heaps. Into that, it's not net position right now, no. Quiet Boy and Yari were yet to pit. Rian
Johnsy Boy then
continues to lead
versus
this
Hyper
race.
here, maybe for what is P5. Are we going to see these two battle a bit?
Surely.
Hyper trying to get this switch back here, but Johnsy Boy going to defend it. Look at the movement of defense here from Johnsy Boy.
He wants to keep him honest. I think
Yeah.
Hyper, the longer
Hyper
he's
going
stuck
for a
behind
switchback
people, it's going
here.
to cause issues, and Hyper, though, will make the move stick, and will John's
I
boy
think Hyper
appeal
shoved him
there?
off there. I think Hyper pushed him off.
I don't think it was a shove, it was just a little nudge, but we'll have to see. Yari, FaZe Monkey, and Quiet Boy. Look at how much the undercut helped FaZe Monkey. It was a lap or two, that undercut for FaZe Monkey, and he's back inside of Yari's DRS. That's the pace of a fresh tyre for you. Hyper doesn't have that same extreme benefit where he pitted only a couple laps after everyone else decided to come off their mediums. But here goes Yari now. Needs to start making work of this grid. Needs to bring himself further forward. He can challenge today. If not for a podium or win, Sean Johns into the pit lane from P7.
Here he goes on the Mercedes. Great move there for Yari.
Easy as you like. The Racing Bull racing around this Interlagos circuit harder than it ever has before. ST, does he have that respect, knowing that tyre is a lot fresher on Yari's car? He's going to look for it anyway. To the inside, Yari leaves just enough room.
Hyper might get Joker here as well, maybe around the outside. Not going to get it done.
Is that inside line 3 though?
Is there a dive bomb here? No, Joker's covered it off. Oh, Hyper hit the back of him. I think the McLaren hit the back of him there.
He is so desperate, is Hyper, to make everything work. He knows this race hasn't gone his way so far and wants it all to come to fruition, but he needs to take his time. That's all he needs to do at this point to keep fighting. He can still get a podium in this race, even just by getting past Joker. He's got another 11 laps to do so, though. So just keep your head together, Hyper. The move surely now on, and Hyper up now.
Nothing Joker can do about that. But look at Yari's pace. Yari should be able to become racy if he can catch those two.
I mean, turn 1 alone was a 4/10 gain from Yari. He's not going to gain much back on this straight, just because Joker will have that DRS on Hyper. But this is Yari's time. This is where he can commit all out to the end of this race. The Racing Bull charging forward for the first time in URC. We've really properly seen him contend on a wheel. We'll put that asterisk there. He did contend that one race on controller. But this is the Yari I've wanted to see for so long. And it's finally all coming together for him through the hairpin. How much pace does he have? Turn some battery on, my guy. You might get DRS on Joker, who looked to go deep in that final corner. Yari will get DRS surely. Maybe just about didn't get it.
Yeah, didn't get it there, unfortunately.
He should, though. At the start of the next lap, Hyper already charged onto the back of Orobeng, who might have killed his tyres a little bit too much during the duration of this race. But Yari now ready to go, raring to go in that Racing Bull on the back of Joker. And it's his time to shine now.
Orobeng.
What can Yari do? That is my only question at this stage of the race. It's the only reason I want to stay watching at this point. It's the only reason you should stay watching at this point. Because Yari could be on for a podium. He could beat Hyper, have a comeback from his race in Kota, where you remember he lost out late on to a mistake, at least the position on track, and then got that 3-second penalty just to boot. But this is Yari at his finest. Through the final corner, hooks that car up beautifully. The overtake button will be enabled. The DRS will be enabled. Hyper might be going for it on Orobeng, but do I really care? No, because Yari on track, up the inside. It's free. It is easy for Yari. That tyre
now,
working
can he take
miracles.
it to Hyper? That's the big question.
Well, first question is, can Hyper take it to Orobeng on this lap? Not much battery for the McLaren driver. Nowhere near enough battery for the McLaren driver. And the pressure will come on. The Belgian waffle will become the king of Belgium with a podium today. This is a first that we've properly seen Yari throw himself into a full-on racing situation, take on the Giants.
There's the McLaren. He can see him. This is going to get racy.
Orabeng and Hyper, by the way, we'll take a quick peek at the tyres. It's 5 and 4 laps, respectively, the disadvantage that they have to Yari's car. Hyper put those tyres on 4 laps before. Orabeng 5. Yari, I'll salute you in this. This could be P2. This could be a win if he still has the pace. Hyper's going to be the first one to strike into turn 1. Doesn't have anything to go for it. Joker proving he's more of a joke this weekend. 10-second speeding penalty. Yet again for the Ferrari. Plenty of those been seen today. Yari is ready though. Orabeng and Hyper wheel to wheel in turn 4. Yari looks to the inside. It's a tap on the back of Hyper. He has so much grip right now. He needs to get aggressive. He needs to put the pace together as we come to the conclusion of this race. ST sets the fastest lap outside of the points for now. Yari, come on, my son. You can do this. It is 7 laps to go at the drop of the lap. And Yari just looking indestructible right now. He is 6 tenths off Orabeng. Oh, he's locked the rear. He got caught out by how slow they were into that final corner. Hyper touching Orabeng. Yari locking up to avoid it. And the pressure now on from FaZe Monkey. Hyper up further forward. It's going to look around the outside of turn 1. But Orabeng has it covered off. Yari deep in turn 1. Trying to get the RS. FaZe Monkey trying to get a switchback on Yari, but can't get it done. Hyper, surely now, does he have anything to answer back with to the outside? A little touch between the two of them, a bigger touch into the back.
Leo, Yari's been gifted a second chance here. Yari has been gifted a second chance.
And he's going to take advantage of it immediately. Yari to the inside!
What a move! What a fucking move!
Straight past
Yari.
Hyper. He gets that second chance. He doesn't want a second invite. He is through to P4 on track. It is a net P3 as it stands with Fran Bernoulli's 10-second penalty. And how much can he do? FaZe Monkey pitted a couple laps before Yari, 6 lap old, so he's a bit more on pace with Hyper and Orabeng, but his pace seems indestructible at this point as well. Orabeng.
Yari's got to get the move done here.
Battery for Yari.
And he is.
Orabeng, no answer. Hyper is trying to brake as late as he can. He's locking up at every opportunity. He is sideways. FaZe Monkey now has battery in the car. That's the big thing here. Is Hyper gonna fall to P6? On the outside, little touch between them. FaZe sideways, Hyper off the track, as is FaZe. They're going to return to the racing surface in the same order, but the gaps expanding between them. Hyper is getting a bit frustrated now. He has lost out in a huge fight with Orabeng. He lost it to a small, wide moment against Yari, of all people. And he is nearly losing out to FaZe Monkey's Aston Martin as well. He needs to chill his head. He needs to reset at this stage of proceedings, because now he'll have his second chance gifted to him. No DRS for Orabeng anymore. It was gone.
Yari's
the lap out. It was taken, and Yari will check out to try and see how much more he can gain. Remember, controversies for Fran ahead, including a 10-second penalty. Here comes Hyper outside, taking a look. Can't get it done. Orabeng getting it stopped beautifully in turn 1. No threats to the McLaren drive from the McLaren driver so far. Orabeng is immediately to that left side of the track. He is trying to break it. He's trying to break the toe. He is trying to beat Hyper on pure merit here. This could be a Yari and Orabeng podium. Double V-carb and a Red Bull, and the Red Bull might be Orabeng. Yari seems to have petered out on his charge as soon as he's got through this field. I mean, it's understandable he took so long to do it, and those tyres aren't going to be feeling their best
Hyper, 3
anymore.
seconds!
It is a penalty for Hyper. That is agony.
Leo. Quiet Boy is there as well, don't forget.
And you think about this in terms of the standings.
Oh
Ryan
my god.
will be gaining 19 points as it stands, in a gap that was 30 points before this event. Hyper, another chance given. He is going to force his way to the inside. Orabang, outside line. He is going to try and hang it. Forced a bit wide. There's contact between them. Orabang cuts the corner and maintains the place. FaZe Monkey. Can he do it? It's going to be DRS. But more battery for the Aston Martin, who's going to go on the outside. It didn't work the last time for him. Can he make it work again? And FaZe gets another 3-second penalty. But is that going to be blamed on Hyper yet again? Like Sean Johnsy boys might have been. Hyper is not feeling his best today. He is being pummeled every time he gets come across. Everyone fighting him to their limits right now, and we are loving it as they cross the line.
No one's giving me breathing room.
It will be 3 laps to go here in Brazil, and that's a wide moment from Hyper. FaZe Monkey has more battery. Hyper's battery management has been atrocious.
All over the place, Leo.
Hyper may be falling again. Look at that. There's more contact between Hyper and FaZe Monkey. He has got his elbows out, but are they too far out? That'll be for Faulkner to say later. Right
what about
now,
Quiet Boy as well?
Quiet Boy. He's got battery. He's going to have more than a sniff. Quiet Boy inside, and he is through.
Hyper's fading, and fading fast. Hyper is fading in this Brazilian Grand Prix.
Here comes our big contact
again.
Hyper.
Leo, I can't comprehend this.
He's falling away in this title fight that looked like it could go the distance, and it might have to. It looked like it could be decided in Jeddah. It's looking so unlikely at this stage. The gap, as it stands, shrinking to 11 points between them. Re and C11 has started lap 35 of 36. And do you know what? We could see a Quiet Boy podium. We might be seeing a Quiet Boy podium. He's on the outside of FaZe Monkey. Little bit of side-by-side contact. FaZe Monkey is not going to have any respect. It's time to fight at the end of this race. Yellow flag further back. That's going to be Rando, who's gone around in that final sector.
On the 2 cars. Hyper trying to go for a move, but he just can't get it done.
Quiet Boy forced off track though.
Quiet Boy here.
Here he goes. He's not going to make it 3 wide. That's going to end in tears. He looked to the middle of them. Surely he even understood that was ending in tears. Quiet Boy up to P4. And Quiet Boy's no longer on the podium, by the way. That battling has cost FaZe Monkey and Quiet Boy the opportunity to take a podium here. Just lost enough time. Really quick. There's the start of lap 36 falling for you. But Rian, we will come back to you as you conclude this lap, because we have one more lap of action for P4 on this track. Hyper and FaZe Monkey cannot get it with their penalties unless they have a heap of luck, as there's a Mercedes round. That's going to be Sean Johnsy boy into turn 1. Hyper look on FaZe Monkey, but nothing coming of it right now. Further back, Rando making
Hyper's
more mistakes.
No battery. Orabang has got more battery. He might have a go here.
Go on Orabang. He's not close enough. FaZe Monkey had a go on Quiet Boy. A little bit sideways. Hyper very sideways. On the exit of the corner. This is lap 36. And it's lap 36 this. Quiet Boy right now just about off the podium after penalties, unless Fran has a 3 that I've forgotten about, which he does not. I think we have seen that conclusion. It's foregone at this stage. Up in front, it is dominant from the Racing Bulls driver. He's going to cross the line in Brazil.
3 wins in a row. What a man.
3 in a row, and it's the win for Rian C11. Yari spams L2. Will take P2.
Oh my god.
The constructors fight is on. Quiet Boy just too far back to take that P3. It'll be Oraveng P5.
For Hyper.
Phase Monkey 6. 7th will be Hyper. HB Cook takes Joker just at the end. Bluefoot comes home P9. Joker's penalties.
Geez.
Look at how close it is for Joker and Blue on penalties. It is 5,000
a second.
That is the difference between a little bit and a lot of battery burn for them. ST is pushing a fastest lap out of that Mercedes come the very end. He wants to try and take something home for Mercedes in a disappointing race. It's P11, but the fastest lap in that Mercedes car. And Rando, thank you, Rando. You know, he's doing some donuts. Do the 2010 line, Rando. Go on. He's not doing it. He is going for some beautiful donuts. He has a puncture on that rear right, sorry. He'll be struggling to get that car up the road. But on top, though, it's the Racing Bulls. Rian C11 takes the win over Yari Spams L2. Fran Bernoulli losing it to a pit speeding penalty. 4th for Quiet Boy and 5th for Oraveng. That top 5 couldn't have been foreseen from the start. It is pure disbelief up here. The win coming out for
Leo. Believe it, man. I'm in disbelief. I'm in disbelief.
Quiet Boy, Phase Monkey podium, by the way. No, is that Phase on? Quiet Boy, Fran Bernoulli podium. Sorry, I forgot that Phase had penalties. I mean, was Yari truly washed?
6 points from Hyper there. Oh my god.
19-point swing in the standings brings the gap down to 11 points between your top 2 in the
2
constructors.
races at a sprint to go as well. Oh my days.
Well, you got to consider as well the constructors standings. Racing Bulls were behind McLaren by 8 points going into this event. Hyper's 6 points do nothing to really help them. You look at that, that's a 37-point swing in the constructors, if I'm doing my maths correctly. And that means that it's a race win lead for Racing Bulls, plus a little bit more in their fight for the constructors' standings as it stands, with 2 rounds left to be played for. We will join you all back very shortly to interview your top 3 after an incredible race. And we join you back now. First guest in the interview room is going to be Fran Manuli, who's gone P3 to P3, even that 10-second time penalty not dropping you down. Fran, that pace was incredible from you all throughout the race.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Out of nowhere, to be honest, because I haven't been anywhere this season.
Yeah, we were saying it in qualifying. It looked like a return to your season 11 form there, where you just brought everything back and managed to have a race where you were finally competitive. How does that feel for you?
Feels nice. Of course, I wanted to fight for the win, but then after the 10 seconds, it was just all about getting the podium. Got a lot of help from FaZe Monkey, what a legend. Also some help from Rian at the start to keep Hyper behind with the DRS, so I can't complain too much, to be honest. Yeah, all in all, a good race, and I did say I would take the season a bit slower and calmer, but my previous performances haven't really been satisfying me, even though I want to race for fun. So I got a couple of practice sessions in this week, and I think that's what happens when I actually get to practice. I mean, if you look at Monza, I was absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're seeing you going from 2 podiums in the season. It's adding to your tally this season. I mean, it must feel good, especially for Aston Martin as well, while you're driving in a pretty close constructors fight there with Ferrari and Haas, to pull yourselves a bit further forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's always an honor to race for this team. Like I said, I got my first win for them. So I was FaZe Monkey. I was like, today, just keep it calm, keep it clean. We need to overtake Red Bull and Ferrari and whoever our competitors are. I don't know how the standings look, but we're aiming to get at least top 4. I don't know if that's impossible, but we'll just have to see. I'm also trying to convince him to not retire. Maybe we can be teammates again, because that was a fucking show from us today.
Yeah, I mean, talking of FaZe Monkey, he was there fighting up to the very end, really, with Hyper, with Yari, with Orabang, and Quiet Boy. You know, Yari did end up pulling away from them, but he had a fantastic scrap throughout that race that probably a bit overshadowed you, really, who just kind of drove on your own.
Yeah, I mean, his fighting and scrapping may helped me to drive just on my own. I'd rather drive on my own than be fighting every lap. So he's a legend, and if he does retire, he's gonna be missed.
Certainly will be. I mean, look, we've got the dawn of season 13 approaching as well. I mean, confirmations coming in that will be happening on the 26 DLC. Are you looking forward to that, Fran Manuli?
Yes, I will be. I will, in fact, be sweating the DLC, so I will be back. I mean, you saw me battle with Hyper today, and I think that's all you need to know on where my pace is going to be the next few races.
Yeah, with your battle with Hyper, some people might have said it looked a little controversial between the two of you. Just those little bits of contact. What are your thoughts on that, or is it
was hard racing, Leo?
The contact between which one? Because one time he just barged me into the way, but that's typical Hyper. Like I'm not too fussed. Like you can really expect it. But then into turn 1, we made contact, but it wasn't on my end because Orabang decided to make it 3 wide, which will never work because he decided to send it at the last minute. So then I had to go wide, and I don't really know. I don't recall what exactly happened, but we were going 3 wide into turn 1 when it was just me and Hyper racing. He was gonna get me as well. I was gonna let him by, but then I saw an arrow to my left on the inside, and I had to go wide because then if I get taken out, that ruins my race. And of course, I was on for a good one.
Yeah, and I mean, hell, even being on for a good one, it was a great one from you in the end. Shamrock, any questions for the driver who should hopefully fight for a title in 13?
Yeah, look, I think Fran knows this himself, and I know it just from last season. His pace is there, and he's had, as he said, he's taken the season a little bit slower, and he's had some difficult races, but
which didn't satisfy me at all. So that was a big mistake.
I think that Fran, in a way, that's a learning experience as well, and sometimes it's good to just have a bit of a down season as well after winning the season before. But you know what your pace is like. I know what your pace is like, and you know you can win races here. So obviously, yeah, your battling tonight was unbelievable. By the way, it was really really good. Hard racing. That's what we expect to see from you.
I mean, like I said, I don't have an ego, so I'm not going to be saying I'm the best racer of all time. But when it comes to defending, I do believe I'm the best defender on this grid, because I actually defend really cleanly.
But you're not going to let anyone by just like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I'm fighting for a good position, I don't care what your tire wear is. I don't care how much faster you are than me. I'm gonna do everything I can to keep you behind. Whether that's Hyper, Rian, Bluefoot, Johnsy Boy, I don't really care. I'm racing for my own here.
Okay, thank you for coming along, Fran, but early. We're looking forward to seeing you in season 13. What
before
are you
kick me out, can I just say something?
Go for it.
Rian wins again, Rian's on fire. Rian wins again, Rian's on fire.
Well, we could see the wonderful Rian bias from Fran Bernoulli there. He's going to go straight in and Rian's going to be hearing that. But we're not even going to have to switch cars for the next two. It's a 1-2. And the second of those people, as Shamrock has disconnected apparently, so I'll be taking it from here, is Yari Spams L2. Yari.
Oh shit, hello.
Welcome in. I mean, where did that come from?
Yo, I do not know, man.
It
Genuinely,
was a great qualifying from you to start with. I mean, you put yourself right in that fight for the top positions on the grid, P4 or P5 in the end for you. And then do it two better, P2 in the race, Yari. How did you manage to do that race? Just what made your difference?
My mediums made that difference. They were flying at the end.
Yeah, I mean, you looked incredibly rapid throughout the race. You seemed to struggle, though, mainly getting past Orabeng in that first stint. Do you know what was causing that issue? Because I do.
Please tell me. I feel like I didn't have enough battery there.
You weren't turning the battery on early enough in turn 3. He was turning on so much earlier and just being able to pull.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, if you had the stream on, you would have heard me screaming that down.
Oh no!
Telling you to turn your battery on, you could take a position here. But I mean, we've got to talk about it, right? After this race, confidence surely firstly going to be sky high. Coming to Brazil, obviously your last result here was, let's say, less than satisfactory. It was mentioned immediately. The last time you looked like you had pace at Brazil, you were in the wall in turn 3. And now you've come back.
Was I?
You were, yeah. But now you've managed to come back and pull yourself onto a podium position. Your pace is looking immaculate right now, Yari. What do you think you can do going into the last two events in Jeddah and Abu Dhabi?
Well, we're securing the constructors, that's one thing. And VCAR was coming for both the trophies, not just the constructors. Rian's coming for the other one. I'll just tell you that.
I mean, if we want to have a brief chat about Rian there. Rian's closed his gap down to 11 points at the front of the drivers right now, from 58 at the end before Baku. That is the gap falling down, and you're coming with him as well, bringing yourself further up in the drivers on your own regard as well. Where do you expect to finish from what was quite a lowly start to the season, really, for you? Now up in P7, less of a joke than Joker. Do you reckon you could get yourself into that fight for maybe top 4, maybe top 3 in that driver standings?
No, I feel like Fran's too far in front, and he's not going to bottle it that hard. I feel like top 5 is really possible.
Yeah, I mean, Joker and I actually think you might have overtaken Joker and HB Cook this race in the driver's standings. I'd have to double check my information. But yeah, they didn't have a great race themselves. And I mean,
Oh, that's cool.
is your aim going to be now help Rian whatever you can to get him
Yes.
in the drivers, or is there still going to be a focus on your team game in terms of getting the constructors?
It's going to be a team game in the constructors. It's going to be fully Rian though for the drivers, so I'm going to help him where I can.
And I mean, I guess the last thing, you went from, I'm going to have to say it like this, pretty useless at the start of the season in the team. You know, your first registered result was Austria with a P5, then you didn't finish China. Second in Kota, then 2 non-DNFs, and then middling point scoring position since then. To start bringing home podiums again. I mean, is this a look forward for the 2060 DLC and URC Season 13, maybe?
All I can say is this podium, this one too, gave me a lot of confidence because this is the one on the wheel. And the one on Kodo wasn't. So I just know I have the pace now.
Okay, Yari, thank you for coming along. Sorry Shamrock didn't get to ask you any questions.
Rian's on fire. Oh, sorry.
Okay, get out of here. Last person we're going to speak to, if he wakes himself up though, is going to be your race winner. I wonder where he has gone. Maybe for a joint. Rian Rastafari. I mean, that just looked comfortable. Tell us about it, man.
It was a lot more comfortable than Jeddah, so I can actually speak to you this time. Well, pretty much from the start, straight I was snapping. I didn't get pole. I thought the one would have been enough for the pole. It wasn't the best that I could do, but it was definitely very close to the best. But a very good lap from Hyper. Look, P1, P2, it doesn't really make a big difference at the end of the day, and I knew Hyper was going to start on hards, as he always does. And I wanted the track position and to just build a gap and try and save the tyres. And that's pretty much what I did. It was fairly straightforward, to be honest. I think I could have built a bigger gap in the first stint, but I needed Fran to be behind me. If that gap opened up, Hyper would have got Fran, most likely, and probably would have been able to drive up onto me because my tyres were finished. But no, it was very good driving from Fran as well, and then pretty much the second stint was just all about managing and trying to keep the lads in the VC calm and just try to give a bit of a handout, because fortunately I was in the position and had the gap that I could kind of relax a little bit and kind of semi-coach or semi-engineer the other lads a small bit, because I needed the points. I need as much points as possible. Possibly a full 25 gain. We'll have to see in a day or two. But look, what more can I say? It's
Yeah,
a very good feeling.
Yeah, I mean, you and Hyper didn't really have any sort of scrap that race. I mean, you said you kind of stepped in coaching and engineering the other guys in your VC around the race. FaZe Monkey and Orabang especially, though, seemed to fight Hyper incredibly hard. Was that any of your doing, or was that them just trying to keep their positions as well?
I think it was just them as well. Like I don't know. They would have their opinions on who they want to win the championship, but I have no say in that. I wouldn't be going out there saying, "Oh, defend as hard as you can," or push them off track, or fight them aggressively. No, that's not me. It was more so just about trying to keep them calm, and especially the lads who were on the fresher tyres. It was just more so saying just that they have time, they have the pace, they have the battery. Don't try and rush it. Take your time, pick your battles, and it's what they did. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I mean, something that kind of overshadowed your result a bit today, Rian, was your teammate, actually, Yari. It's a 1-2, obviously, for your team. Are you impressed a little bit by the improvement that Yari started to show now? You know, really competitive recently and started to be fighting for the big points to help you out in the constructors.
Yeah, of course. He's always had the pace to fight at the front. Kota shows what Yari could do from pretty much early on in the season, midway through. Just maybe not had the rub of the green, or maybe not the focus or commitment. Well, no, maybe commitment's not the right word. He does seem to be very committed as well to wanting the constructors and to helping me out and winning the drivers, so it's very much appreciated. And of course, like seeing him now finishing up in P2 is it's that's all I need. I to have a teammate that's there and does the job at the end of the day. That's what I want. Look, the start of the season's the start of the season. It's how you finish, not how you start.
I mean, I guess my last question for you, was there at any point in that race that you thought maybe Yari could have a charge towards you and potentially
Yes.
try and take home that win himself?
There was a point where I said, lads, come on, I know you're going to be on very fresh tyres and stuff, but look, you seem very fast. Give me a break. But look, not to toot my own horn or anything or whatever, but I had the gap. I felt very, very comfortable. From the end of lap 1, I knew I had the potential to win if there was no safety cars. If everything went the way it did, what happened today, I knew I was going to win.
And I mean,
With
now
no safety
Shamrock,
cars, etc.
anything you want to say to Rian? Any questions for him?
Yeah, I managed to get back in, but obviously, Rian, the gap now in the championship is down a lot, like a lot. Um, what is your, as a contender for the season's title, what is your reaction to Hyper's race? I think Leo might have asked it, but I was obviously disconnected from the outside world. So I just wanted to kind of get, what was your reaction to Hyper's race?
The cracks are shown. That's all.
Sure.
And there's still 2 rounds to go. Jeddah, I won from last. There's a sprint. I'll start at the back ahead of Hyper. VRS is a very competitive grid as well. Not to say VRS is competitive. So if I can have the same sort of pace, same mindset, just don't change anything come Jeddah. I think Jeddah could be a real opportunity for me to maybe do something big.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it certainly kind of plays things into your hands. In terms of the gap and everything, if we were looking at a 30-point gap, and you can imagine if that was increased a little bit slighter after tonight, it might have been a more difficult task in Jeddah, but certainly
if I didn't be Hyper tonight, the championship was done.
Yeah. So
100%, no doubt.
obviously things have gone differently tonight, and they've definitely gone your way. But that is just how things play out. I think we were watching it on the stream and we couldn't really believe our eyes, and to be honest, what we were seeing. But look, this is what makes title fights that exciting. And with 2 races to go, sprint race as well. Obviously, anything can happen, but I think there's a bit more belief for you now, is there?
Big time, big time. Look, it's gotta come out at some point. But of the last 6 races I've raced, I've won. So
yeah,
I'm on the best form I've ever had, and even better than F123. I can't find personally right now. I don't feel like I can be beaten if I put the time and effort in. Yeah, I think I think the tide has turned now, and
Exactly.
I've dealt with this many a times. So
And obviously,
prepared.
speaking about you at you're winning, you're top of your game right now. That's your 18th URC win, and you're basically all time 24th time on the podium. Like, so, do those wins, do those podiums, do that. You really are backing up that stat this season, aren't you?
Yeah, it's yeah. That's why I'm saying the things I'm saying. It would be silly for me to come out and say, look, it's the ball, like that. The ball isn't in my court now. It is. It's my championship to lose now. Realistically, off recent form, I know I'm still behind, but
Yeah.
yeah, the tide has turned, and I'm saying that here and now. Yeah, I'll speak to you next week, and I'll speak to you in 2 weeks, and we'll see what the conversation we have is.
Absolutely, and well, I'm sure it's going to be a spectacle. Anyway, folks, it's definitely something you don't want to miss. Round 11 and round 12 are races that could be absolute cinema this season. Leo, I'll leave it back to you. Thanks, Rian.
Yeah, great always to speak to Ryan. Always extremely calm, no matter what's happened to him in the race. He sounds like the calmest guy in the world. On the screen right now is the driver's standings as they were heading in to this event. It was a 30-point gap that Ryan had to gain towards Hyper. That has been slashed now after today's race to 11 points. The championship really open now, and if Hyper has a bad race in Jeddah, do you think that's title over?
I think we look at the nature of Jeddah, right? And Jeddah is so narrow. And the fact is, Hyper's already starting behind Rian for the sprint. That's going to play a big mental picture now. Because of the gap going into Jeddah is so much more little between the two. It's going to be a massive picture now for Hyper in terms of having Rian in front of him. If Rian beats him in the sprint, he's going to have him again in front of him in the main race. So this is really, as Rian was saying, it's playing into his corner going into Jeddah, and that could just set up an absolute massive stage for Abu Dhabi. But obviously tonight's race being 108 races now done, Leo, we're going to be finishing the season on 110 races, which is going to be insane. But yeah, the championship is going to be quite the spectacle, surely.
And I mean, we've got to look as well in that sprint grid. You look at the likes of Bram Manuli, Yari, Orabang, Face Monkey, all the people that have had big fights with Hyper, people that maybe aren't on the best terms with Hyper, who will also all be starting ahead of the Irishman going into round 11. He's going to have so much pressure in his head. He's going to have so many people that maybe he wishes he hadn't pissed off a bit earlier in the season.
Yeah.
But
and just to obviously, sorry, I know this will be the last thing. I know we were going a little bit over schedule, but in terms of the constructors, both McLaren are chasing their first constructors title as well, and as well as Racing Bull. But Racing Bull have failed to win the constructors title in 2 seasons, so I don't think they want to go a third season missing out on that trophy.
Yeah, just pulled that up for everyone. Racing Bulls will now take a 25-point lead over McLaren Mercedes in that constructors fight after a 29-point, lead over McLaren Mercedes after that event, because Hyper languishing there in P7, Rian and Yari taking home maximal points for the team. And I mean, Yari coming into his own as well to bring this team back from painful times means that we could see anything happen in these last 2 races. Hyper needs a teammate, though, that can work with him, because right now, Rian seems to be the one that's got that going for him.
Yeah. It's sorry, I was Fran is just fucking messaging me there about something. Yeah, it's gonna I'm surprised it's come to where we are right now, and after Brazil, I did not expect Brazil to be like this. You know, if we go 2 weeks back to Baku, where the gap in the championship was 58 points, the fact it's come down to 11 points now is just it's mind blowing. It shouldn't happen, but it has, Leo. I don't. It's so hard to believe.
If Ryan wins this title now, it will have been probably the most incredible comeback I've ever seen in this title stand, in a title race, especially considering, 5 races from the end of the season, with 5 rounds to go, there was 58 points in gap with Hyper on good form. Hyper looked like, even if he just came P2 every race, that was championship sealed, and now...
Yeah, literally, that was it.
Some messy races, some head losses, and now it's down to, if he comes P2 in every race, he loses the title.
Yeah, I mean, I like this P7 and that 3 seconds is going to haunt him. The race in Monza, yes, it was damage limitation. He recovered himself a bit. But even the race in Baku and Brazil, there's 2 races that Hyper has just messed up this season massively. And that is what's going to haunt him in the likes of Jeddah and Abu Dhabi, for sure. If it all comes to the end of Riem winning it all, Hyper's going to look back at Baku and Brazil, and those are where things went wrong for him. And that's going to kill him. That's just going to be absolutely painful.
And this was the guy who lost it in the last season in the penultimate round. It's not possible to be fully lost in that penultimate round for Hyper at this stage. It'd be 3 points the advantage. Rian would still have to take home in Abu Dhabi, but it's dire straits now for the McLaren man, who was the guy that was going to win the title. Everyone would have said, if there was a champion to come out of the season, it would have been Hyper. Rian didn't look the best early on, but now he's pulled it straight back, and I'd back Rian at this stage in the title fight. Go to me before Baku, I would have said Hyper all the way.
I think it just comes down to composure, Leo, now at this rate. And as you said it there, Rian he's come into every interview after the race calm, cool, and collected. Again on track tonight, I think Rian is the more composed driver even when he's in the mix of the field, getting through drivers. Hyper loses composure the minute he falls outside of P3. Anything in front of that, like P2 or P1, Hyper's cool, relaxed, composed. Anything outside of P3, from what I've seen this season, Hyper struggles. He gets impatient. He's slipping all over the track. He's making bold moves, dive bombs, you name it. He's ending up in the steward's room. Rian has not been in that situation once this season.
I think that's just Rian is probably the calmest driver I've seen in any series. He just sits there. He'll drive his race. I mean, hell, I talked to him after VRS Jeddah 2 days ago, and he was last and out of the count at the end of lap 1, pretty much. He had another couple instants through that race, ended up taking home the victory right at the very end. He knows how to do a comeback drive. He knows how to compete and stay composed. And I think that's where Hyper maybe lacks that maturity in his racing to not go for those stupid moves. Just, take a lap. Because what I saw, he needed to take a lap, recharge that battery, and then go, and he could get 2 or 3 moves done with that full tank of battery. And instead, he was sitting there pretty much running to 0 at the end of every straight, and that cost him.
He did use his battery a lot. I think that was one of the big things that cost Hyper in the long run. I mean, if we had highlights, if we got live highlights on the stream, it would probably, like Sky Sports F1 do, it would be kind of cool. But it's easy to remember. You could see Hyper even in Sector 1. Every time he was trying to pass a car with ERS deployed, he was going to 0. On the main straight, he had about maybe 20 to 30%, and that was draining rapidly, and he would end up on 0. So Hyper's ERS management this race was not good. He really had to deploy ERS a lot more. He couldn't manage it to the best of his ability. So yeah, that definitely cost him tonight, and I think he's going to be. I don't know how he's feeling right now, but I think it's frustration, Leo, or something. Something is definitely not right for him.
I think when it comes down to it, he just needs to pull his mental back together. He still leads going into Jeddah. He still has a good opportunity. Jeddah's a tricky track, and he does well at those sorts of circuits. We saw when he raced Monaco back last season. We see it whenever he's on some sort of track where the littlest of advantage can be found just by finding a bit more on a margin. He can take advantage of it, but Brazil maybe not suiting him quite that well. It's heavily fast and flowing, but a lot of room to take advantage and a lot of room to make that mistake as well, which we were seeing. But
Yeah,
maybe
definitely.
he needs to take that page out of Rian's book. Rian said at the start of this race he knows Hyper starts on the hard tyre every race, and he wanted the track position to do what he wanted.
Yeah.
And maybe Hyper, if his issue is that he's dropping down the order early on, and that's what's costing him in his mental, start on a medium tyre and see what he can do. Maybe that's his final goal to win this championship. Some advice for the guy that's lost out last season and is nearly throwing it away this season.
Yeah, and the thing is, I know it's not relevant, but obviously last season he missed a couple of races due to his pace. He wasn't in a seat. Hyper now has been given a full season this season with no removals from a seat or whatever, no pace concerns. He's been given this season now to just go for it. And the fact that it's potentially being thrown away, being lost by these small mistakes, we saw them as well at the start of the season, like so Austria with the 3-second pens. These mistakes that he's doing are continuously reappearing in the most critical stages of the season. So he's opening so many doors for Rian to creep through. As Rian said it there in the interview, there's cracks. The cracks are showing. And Hyper is essentially letting Rian sneak through these gaps of opportunity. He's not closing him off. He's letting him go.
It's not just that Hyper's letting Rian through. Obviously, it goes both ways. If Hyper's making these mistakes, you see Rian there just taking advantage of every opportunity he has been granted. Winning the past 3 rounds is an incredible feat for him, especially considering his earlier lack of confidence in himself, maybe. Every time he has finished this season, it has been in a podium position. Spain, he didn't contend. Kota, he DNF'd. Every other time, it has been P1 for the 6th time this season for him. He's had 1 P2 and 1 P3. Where Hyper's, it's 4 and 4 P1s and P2s across 10 of the races, the 10 races we've had so far, but a P6 and a P7. That's where it's hurting him now. Those top points where Rian is finding every advantage. But next week, he needs that crack. He needs those cracks patched. It's Jeddah. It's a track you need that focus on. It's a track where you need to be calm and collected the entire time. And as it stands, I don't see him keeping that composure.
Yeah, I suppose. I think we'll leave it at, I don't know, at this comment or no, but it's down to him now, Leo, to prove us wrong and show that he is going to win this title, and he needs to show that, as you said, he needs to seal those cracks, and he needs to show us in these next 2 weeks that he is the deserved winner of this title, because he is letting Rian right back into it, and he has let Rian right back into it. His advantage is gone, basically. Of a race win, a race advantage that he used to have is gone.
2 wins was what he could have disappeared. Rian could win 2 races. He would have maintained that championship lead, but Hyper down and out for the count. But that is the end of this week. Next week, I'm sure there'll be a hell of a lot more discussions. Championship permutations will have to be discussed next week, because, something you could say is, we'll have to talk pre-stream next week about this. VCARB, with the chance of taking the constructors in Jeddah. We'll just have to wait and see for that, though. Coming up for the rest of this week, Owls Racing League, racing on Sundays at 8 PM, not on that graphic we have right there, unfortunately. VRS F2 on a Monday night at 8 p.m. We will be going to round 3 there around Austria, looking for a bit of chaos before round 6 of the VRS season comes to a close on Tuesday night, where they will be in Monza. VRS shutting their season down to 7 races to finish out in Belgium in time for this 26 DLC. I mean, Shamrock nailed this perfectly for URC. We finish just after maybe the DLC drops.
Yeah,
on
June
4th. So 2 days after we see 26 cars in the game, maybe a little feature for us to show off to you guys. After that final race, the 26 cars in their glory in the F125 game. But that is it for now. Next week, Saudi Arabia for the sprint, so it'll be Hyper starting P20, Rian C11 starting P19. We will see you all in that week's time. Enjoy the build-up to the title's finish.